Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Debrani SWARGIARY, currently a PhD student from University of Hyderabad, and today I would like to present on assessing language vitality of Tai Aiton language. Can I start? Am I audible to
I'm
everyone?
audible
And
to
can I?
everyone, and can I? Yeah, you can. You can. Just please go ahead with your presentation. Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, before going on to my main topic of discussion, I would like to just give a brief background on the Thai languages of Assam. So, as a dealer has classified, the state of Assam in northeastern part of India hosts the southwestern branch of Thai languages of Thai Kadai language family. They are Ahum, Aiton, Nora, Phake, Khamiang, Khamti, and Turung. So, despite Thai Kadai language family has very ancient history in Southeast Asia, it is about only 700 years old in India. Further Thai language varieties, except Ahum, are about 100 or 150 years old in the region. So Ahum and Nora, among them, Ahum and Nora varieties have become extinct primarily due to assimilation with uh, influential regional language like Assamese, a Tibeto-Indo-Aryan family. So, despite current trend of language shift being challenged, the varieties of Thai languages, Khamti, Phake, and Aiton seems viable for revitalization, however, with full institutional support and community effort. So, the present context of study refers to the Thai Aiton variety of Thai languages in Assam, which is now considered as an endangered language. So, this is a family tree which has been given by Das and Abi. So, about the Thai people of Assam, so according to the historical records and oral traditions, it is believed that the Ahums were led by Sukhafa, who entered Assam crossing the Patkai mountain range in 1228 AD from Burma. So the dealer too discusses the evidence suggesting that at least some of these groups arrived in Assam along with Sukhafa some 400 or 500 years before the traditional dates. And really they follow Hinduism now, and some they follow Theravada Buddhism that they brought along with. So the context of the study is that traditionally Indian indigenous languages do not decline or possibly become extinct for linguistic circumstances. And now, in general scenario of indigenous languages in India, unlike the scheduled and official language that receives support at all level, the unofficial and unscripted language are always directly or indirectly forced into disadvantaged situation. Now, next. So this is the geographical distribution of Tai Aitan speakers in Assam. They are distributed in two district of Assam, that is in Karbi Anglong East and Golaghat. It's a map of northeastern part of Assam. So speaking of the Tai Aitan speaker, they are distributed in eight small villages in Karbi Anglong and Golaghat. In Karbi Anglong, it is found in five villages, and in Golaghat, it's in three villages. So the methodology that I have employed in this study is that language vitality is demonstrated by the extent that a language is used as a means of communication in various social contexts for specific purpose. This study assesses the vitality level of Aiton variety of Thai language spoken in India by applying the nine factors that is given by live by the UNESCO ad hoc expert group on endangered languages. The second model that have been used is EGIDS, that is the expanded credit. intergeneration, disruption, scale. And the third tool that have been used in this study is the sustainable use model that was given by Lewis and Simons in 2015. The future of sustainability of Aiton language is speculated on based on the present situation. So as I've mentioned, the selection is the three villages of one of the district in one of the district of Assam. So the participants selected were the speakers of only the Tai Aiton variety residing in these three villages, and a total of 100 participants of varying ages from 15 to 84 responded to the survey questions presented. So the methodology again, the data initially, it has permission and consent from head of the above village were acknowledges before proceeding with the study in their respective location. Then interviews were conducted on face-to-face mode based on qualitative survey questionnaires, and response interview through survey questionnaire was stopped once saturation of data was observed. The responses of the participants are examined both qualitatively and quantitatively. So these are the composition of the samples. Like all has I have mentioned that total 100 participants took part in the survey, and among them the male was 40, female 60, and the background information about the participant. The literate rate was overall in number was 93, and pre-literate it was 7. Student 21 student, government service 6, business 9, farmers 16, and housewife homemakers 46, retired and other were 2. Now from the sample it can be seen that the female participant is more than the male, because the male informant was difficult during daytime, as they generally get engaged in agriculture work, business, or government services in that period. So, considering the data, the following points were considered while collecting the data. The questionnaire survey was adopted due to its relevance in assessing the language vitality of Aiton, and it subsequently had facilitated in understanding the status of Aiton. And the study include the response from the younger Aiton speaking generation, as it would provide a picture on language vitality among the younger generation. And statistical analysis shows a significant influence of age on the responses, that the influences of gender and locality of the participants. However, in order for preliminary assessment, the responses of the participants are analyzed together irrespective of speaker's age, gender, and locality. So, as I mentioned, the three tools have been used for the assessing language vitality of Tai Aiton. The reason I have choose these three tools is the first tool, that is uh, the live by the UNESCO ad hoc expert group on endangered languages. It's because it's widely used vitality assessment tool by linguists around the world. Then they have 9 factors. So considering of 9 factor is based on the settlement that no single factor alone can be used to assess a language vitality or its need for documentation. The 9 factors are divided into three categories. The first category factor can the 6 point uh, can be used to assess language vitality and state of endangerment. The 7 and 8 point you can see it can be used to assess language attitude, and the ninth point it can be assessed It can be used to assess urgency of need for documentation. And the second tool, this is the EDIGS, key questions and answers. So by using these key questions, the current status of a language can be assessed. However, the process is quite focused but provide a comprehensive and rapid categorization of every language of the world. So, okay, this is the tool. Then. And the third tool is the sustainable used model. So this framework enables a language user to understand the current status for the use of their language, they understand basic practice for developing their language, then identify a way forward in identifying, prioritizing, and planning their language development activities, monitor and evaluate the language development effort for effectiveness in producing the desired result. So, taking the first factor of UNESCO's nine factor of language vitality and engagement. The first factor we can see the intergeneration language transmission. For Tai Aiton, it can be a grade a 4 under category of degree of endangerment. And the finding shows that most but not all children or families of Thai communities speak their language as their first language, but it may be restricted to specific social domains such as home, where children interact with their parents and grandparents. And such situation is evident where mother of the children was non-Aiton speaker before marriage. The children uses both Aiton and Assamese to speak in social domain. Assamese is a lingua franca in Assam. From responses received, it is true evident that Aiton is spoken in all generation by nearly all or majorly, and the intergeneration language transmission does not seem to cease at present. The second factor, now coming to second factor, absolute number of speaker. As I have mentioned that I have surveyed the three villages. So in one Balipathar Shyamgaon, number of speakers could be is only 889, and in a second village Ahomoni it's 307. In Borgaon it is 270. And here I would like to mention that an accurate data on population of the Aiton it's not available at present in any government database, considering no population census has been carried out. Last census in India was carried out in 2011. However, it is understandable and may be considered as fair estimation from villagers' perspective of those location. The probable current population of Aiton speaker is around 4,000 to 500. And a further investigation to the issue is in my pipeline. The third, when coming to the third factor, that is a proportion of speakers within the total population. So it can be graded on a 4 degree of endanger is unsafe. As from the findings, that children from couples where mother is non-Aiton speaker originally end up speaking Assamese most often during childhood. They tend to learn the language during. They tend to learn the language gradually. However, settle with low fluency and tend to talk using both Assamese and Aiton and become semi-speaker of their own language. Coming to factor four, the trend in existing language documentation. So it can be kept under the category multilingual parity. 4 under scale 4, as the finding shows that Aiton is highly used by elder generation in various social domains within the community, but in a very restricted way. However, a limited use of Assamese and Hindi prevails alongside Aiton among the younger generation. So, coming to factor 5, responses to new media and domain, it's minimal. So, from interpretation of interview conducted, it is understood that Aiton has not received any formal and informal presentation in the new media, which shows a minimal level of language vitality in new domain. So coming to factor six, availability of material for language education and literacy. It is the finding shows that there are limited written materials available for learning the language and are not accessible to all the community members. Lack of availability of printed materials such as dictionaries, comprehensive grammar books, etc. in the language aid further woes to development of the language. So, coming to factor seven, government and institutional language attitude and policies, including official status and use, it is in a passive assimilation stage. There has been no or minimal institutional support for development of Thai languages in Assam at grassroots level. It was learned that contractual teachers were engaged to teach Thai language a long back, which had turned obsolete at a later stage. There has been no explicit language policy undertaken to make the language popular in public domain. Coming to factor 8, communities members' attitude towards their own language. So it has been found out that all participants from a Thai Aiton community, irrespective of age, have expressed a positive attitude towards uplifting the language. And from interpretation of survey result, it is found participants' response against language attitude are stable across all ages. Factor 9, type and quality of documentation. It is fragmentary. The availability of adequate amount of literary text and material in the language and audio and video recording is very minimal. So even printed materials, literatures are not easily accessible to all, or there arises a question of whereabouts. So this is a summary for the nine factors with their assigned scale. Coming to the second model, it's a table for EDIGS key question and answer for Tai Aiton language. So the first question, what is the identity function? For Aiton community is home. The official language user, it's not official. And are all parents transmitting the language to their children? No. Their literature status is none. What is the youngest generation that has least some proficient speaker that can be found in children? So the questions so now, if what is the identity function? If the question is if the answer is home, so then did will lead to the next question: are all parents transmitting the language to their children? If it is no, so it will rise to the question: what is the younger generation that has least? If it is children, as we can see, this is an diagnostic tree for Thai Aiton language. So it is diagnosed as a C6B. It is threatened. So now coming to discussion on attainment level of 6B threatened. So as we can see from the table that the label has it shows a downward trajectory towards language shift. Well, describe the current situation of Thai Aiton. It is understood from the field survey that many parents, but not all, are transmitting the language to their children, but a significant proportions are not. So that intergeneration transmission is partial and maybe weakening. So now considering the sustainability situation of Tai Aiton language, it can be placed somewhere between sustainable orality and sustainable identity. So, interpreting the attitude on Tai Aiton language from response received, it is assumed that the language may have potential to achieve the sustainable use model 6A, which does not account for a stable sustainability. However, the current situation of language use among the Italian community, if prevail for a long run, uh, a, a sustainable use model level of 4 may be impending. So, as we can see, if it's going forward, upward, it is, we can see there will be language development, and the orange bar, it can shift, language may be shifting. So the discussion and conclusion part. So we can summarize that speaker from elder generations stress on the fact that use of language use has reduced in different from some portion of the community no longer speaking or acquiring the language. From the analysis, it is apparent that Iton is primarily used in context of social and religious domain within the community. However, Assamese in public domain and Assamese Hindi and English in education domain prevail over own language. It may also be suggesting that community events meeting could be used to intimate the members on necessity to pass the language along and thereby to provide vitality of the language. It is important in a multi-ethnic and multilingual region like India. Proper intervention by the government is necessary for developing teaching material for minority language and simultaneous introduction of the language and school subject, at least at primary level. It is interpreted from the study that though vitality seems a little hindered within the community, consequence of language contact in socialized places is inevitable in Iton language too. A further intergeneration language transmission, though not hindered completely, a caveat is necessary for sustainability of the language in a long run, irrespective of any method considered to find a potential sustainability of a language. Consequence of output would always provide the clarity of future objectives to be followed. Developing explicit policy and methodology, primarily targeting the younger generation, is a way ahead for the Titan community. And I would like to end with a quote. Only a community can keep its language alive. No government or non governmental initiative is sufficient in this regard by Gore and others. Thank you very much.